So imagine this single text, right? Written like over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it somehow becomes this secret weapon for peak performance, not just in business, but famously in the locker rooms of, top American sports teams.
Ah, you must be talking about Christian D. Larson's text, The Optimist's Creed.
Exactly. Or sometimes called I Promise Myself. That's what we're digging into today.
It's such a foundational piece, really,
Yeah.
especially if you're looking to intentionally build a more positive, more resilient mindset. It draws on this wisdom that, well, it just still hits home today.
Right. And our deep dive, it's based on these transcribed audio sources that help us unpack why. Why has this specific set of promises stayed so powerful for like a century? So our mission is to explore the insights, personal strength, positivity, and really how you can take these principles and apply them in your life to genuinely thrive.
Okay, let's do it. Let's peel back those layers.
So maybe start with the person behind it, Christian D. Larson.
Right. To really get the text, it helps to know him a bit.
Yeah.
He was an American writer, active, way over 100 years ago.
Okay.
And his focus was heavily on spiritual themes and also what was then a burgeoning concept,
Well.
the law of attraction.
Ah, interesting. Not quite the version we hear about constantly now, maybe.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For Larson, it seems it was much more about the power of intentional thought and action, how they work together to sort of shape your reality.
Okay.
So his creed gives this surprisingly practical way to apply that. It's focused on deliberate self-talk, not just, wishing for things.
That law of attraction context really adds something, doesn't it? And the impact, the real-world effect of I promise myself, it's pretty striking.
It really is.
Like you mentioned, our sources say it got so popular they literally printed it on posters. For locker rooms, top sports teams, just imagine athletes, right, under huge pressure looking at these promises every single day. What do you think made it work so well for them? Was it just motivation or something more? The ritual, maybe?
I think it was probably a combination of things. The act of reciting it daily, whether you're reading it off a page or now maybe on your phone or listening to it,
You're right.
that's a kind of cognitive priming. You're not just passively reading. You're actively internalizing it.
Making it part of you.
Exactly. So for those athletes, that constant reinforcement, it wasn't just about, winning the game. It was about building that internal winner's mindset. And its relevance just keeps going, especially now with modern media. It makes it so easy for anyone, anywhere, to connect with it in English or, translate it.
So accessible. It really is this timeless blueprint for optimism then. Let's really get into the core promises, break them down, see what they mean for you, listening now.
Sounds good. The very first promise, it really sets a high bar, an ambitious tone.
Which is?
To be so strong that nothing can disturb my peace of mind.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. But Larson doesn't just leave it there. He kind of unpacks what that strength looks like. He guides us with phrases like, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear.
And too happy to permit the presence of trouble.
Yeah, that's a powerful picture of mental toughness.
Definitely.
But, for someone who's really struggling with chronic worry or maybe intense fear, hearing too large for worry, well, it might feel almost impossible.
That's a fair point.
So practically speaking, what daily steps or mindset shifts can actually help someone embody that, to feel too large for worry, not just, get the idea intellectually?
Yeah, that's the key question. I think it starts with recognizing that worry, anger, fear, they're internal responses. They aren't necessarily the external reality itself. And Larson, he's not just saying be stoic. He's really prescribing a kind of cognitive reframing.
Reframing. How so? Well, by aiming to be too large for these feelings, you're actively trying to restructure how you think. You're recognizing that outside events don't automatically have power over your internal state unless you let them.
Unless you give them that power.
Right. It's about disarming those triggers before they even really go off, often just through consistently, consciously redirecting your thoughts.
That idea of reframing is crucial. Okay, let's move to the next set of promises. These seem to shift from inner strength to radiating positivity outwards.
Exactly. It starts with, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person I meet.
Okay.
Then it builds. To look at the sunny side of everything and make my optimism come true.
Make it come true. Interesting phrasing.
Isn't it? And it goes on. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. And finally, maybe the most visible one. To wear a cheerful expression at all times and give a smile to every living creature I meet. This part is really profound because Larson seems to be tapping into this idea of enactment.
Enact.
Yeah, the idea that by doing a positive action, even if it feels a bit unnatural at first, you actually start to embody that quality.
So faking it till you make it, kind of, but maybe deeper.
Sort of, but yeah, deeper. Talking about health and happiness isn't just being polite. It becomes this self-reinforcing loop. It actively reshapes your own internal state, essentially making your optimism come true through that repeated behavior, like behavioral priming.
It does make you wonder, though. In a world that often seems focused on finding problems or what could go wrong, how hard is it to really look at the sunny side all the time and make it real, not just a platitude?
Oh, it's definitely challenging, no question, but also incredibly rewarding.
And what about the outward part? The smile, the cheerful expression. Is there an immediate payoff to that?
I think so. The immediate benefit is often reciprocal, isn't it? A genuine smile, a positive word, it often gets a positive response back. Creates this little positive feedback loop right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And inside yourself, it's a kind of behavioral activation. Even if you don't feel totally cheerful, the physical act of smiling can actually influence your mood physiologically.
So you're initiating the change from the outside, in a way.
Precisely. Starting the shift externally.
That's powerful. Okay, now let's look at the promises about empowering others and self-improvement. These feel really important for, like, healthy relationships.
Absolutely. The creed says, to make all my friends feel that there is something worthwhile in them.
That's lovely.
It is. And then, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own. That's a big one.
Oof, yeah, that can be tough.
And then, maybe the most challenging. To give so much time to improving myself that I have no time to criticize others.
Wow. Okay, this whole section is really interesting because it turns the focus outward, doesn't it? It's one thing to work on your own optimism,
Right.
but to genuinely celebrate other people's success and to actively look for the worthwhile in them. How does that challenge our, maybe natural tendencies, like comparison, envy sometimes?
It directly challenges them. And that's where Larson moves beyond just individual mindset into like relational psychology.
Okay.
By focusing on the good in others, by celebrating their wins, you're not just building stronger connections. You're actively fighting against that scarcity mindset that often fuels envy.
Scarcity mindset. The idea that there isn't enough success to go around.
Exactly. When you start seeing other people's success as a shared win, maybe even something that lifts everyone, it creates this positive ripple effect, not just inside you, but in your whole community, your network.
And the part about self-improvement taking up all your time.
Well, diverting energy away from criticizing others towards your own growth, that's just a powerful strategy for you and for everyone around you. It's about leading by example, really.
Yeah.
Investing in your own best self.
Investing in your highest potential.
Yeah.
And that positive outward focus brings us nicely to the last set of promises, maybe the most crucial, the ones about forging ahead with faith.
Yes, this really ties it all together. It starts to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Always. Then to think well of myself and to proclaim this fact to the world. But listen to this part. Not in loud words, but in great deeds.
Actions speak louder.
Precisely. And the culmination, the final promise, to live in the faith that the whole world is on my side, so long as I am true to the best that is me.
Okay, wow.
What's really fascinating here is that emphasis on forward momentum and self-belief as this quiet, powerful force.
Yeah.
Forgetting past mistakes. It isn't about pretending they didn't happen. It's about releasing the emotional grip they have on you, using that energy to move forward instead.
And proclaiming your worth through deeds, not words. That speaks to integrity, right? Action.
Absolutely. It's a form of self-efficacy.
Yeah.
Your consistent positive actions reinforce your belief in yourself.
Okay, but the idea of letting go of past mistakes, it sounds great. Everyone wants that, but it's so hard for so many people. How does Larson's framework suggest we actually do that? How do we forget, or at least neutralize the impact of those mistakes so we can genuinely press on? Is it just sheer willpower? Mental discipline? Or is there a behavior piece, too?
I think it's definitely both. The mental discipline is about consciously choosing where you put your focus, redirecting it. And the behavioral part is about choosing action over just sitting there ruminating, right?
Right.
By getting busy with those great deeds, pursuing those greater achievements, You're actively building new positive pathways in your brain. You're effectively crowding out the old patterns tied to those past failures.
So it's a proactive approach to changing your thinking patterns.
Exactly. And that final promise,
Yeah.
the whole world is on my side. That speaks to a really deep trust. Trust in your own integrity and maybe trust in the idea that positive action aligns you with, well, positive forces in the universe, however you define that.
Hmm. So, wrapping this up, what what does all this mean for you listening today? These aren't just, quaint of ideas.
Not at all.
They feel like a really solid framework for dealing with today's challenges, today's opportunities. Internalizing these promises, it really can build incredible resilience when things get tough.
For sure.
It can help cultivate genuinely positive relationships and just serve as this constant nudge towards your own personal growth. It really is a blueprint for a more intentional, optimistic, and impactful life.
I think the beauty of Larson's Optimist creed is that mix of simplicity and depth.
Hmm.
It takes these big psychological, even spiritual concepts and boils them down into promises you can actually act on.
Yeah.
And when you embrace them, they really do have the potential to shape your mindset and then, consequently, your whole experience of the world.
It's a powerful reminder that our internal dialogue, that self-talk, it might just be the most powerful tool we have.
Well said. It really might be.
So as you think about everything we've unpacked today, here's something to consider. If you were to commit to just one of Christian D. Larson's promises starting today, which one would you pick? And just think about how that single commitment, that one promise, might begin to transform your experience.